Everybody, and welcome to this episode of Ask A. Today we're going to be talking all about Israel. You guys may have been seeing some of our posts from there, our travels, our adventures, and so I wanted to kind of answer your guys' most popular questions about being here and traveling here and kind of getting to experience this culture. A lot of people are very curious about Israel or have misconceptions about the country, so I thought this would be a great way to just kind of let you guys in on what we've seen here. So we are outside of our apartment right now, so if it's a little noisy, that's why, but we've got the baby sleeping inside, so we're trying to take advantage of some nap time. So our first question today is from Fernando, and he asks what has surprised you the most that you did not expect when you envisioned being in Israel. So for me, I don't know if it was, just being a stupid American or what, but I guess I had always kind of envisioned Israel as being much more of a Middle Eastern country, I guess, than what it is. And I guess I say so, or I say that not in terms of so much of like a geographic area, but more so culturally. I was expecting to see more of, what you would see on an episode of Homeland, I guess. And it's very much westernized here. You see women dressing in what you would see women dressing in the States, and there's really restaurants are very similar, and shopping is very similar. All that sort of thing is very similar to what you would see in the United States. And then you just kind of add in to that westernized kind of culture, you just add in more of the traditional Jewish faith and people that you'll see walking around wearing more of a traditional dress. And you'll also see, more of the traditional Arab, culture mixed in with all of that. So it's not so much that it's purely one way or the other, it's that you see kind of a little bit of everything all jumbled up together, and that's really kind of been one of the coolest parts to me of being here, was that especially here in Haifa, they're really well known for being a very tolerant city and welcoming to other cultures, and everyone kind of lives together here in harmony, and there's not much conflict. So that's been really good for us, and really good for our girls to be able to see that. And it's good for them to see somebody walking down the street who looks different from them, and we can kind of have that conversation. That's it. For kids, it's just a matter of a quick explanation that, sometimes people believe different things and they dress different ways and they speak different languages, and once that's, that conversation has been had, then they just accept it and they move on. And hopefully that will be an advantage for them moving forward, because it's really been exciting to kind of see them taking in everything. So the next question is from Susie. And she says, what Mexican or Tex Mex food item do you miss the most? Which is a huge question, because I really just assumed, again, being a stupid American, that we would have a Mexican restaurant here, and it's really not very popular. There's quite a few people here who eat kosher, so they can't have cheese and they can't have pork, and I'm not obviously very clear on the specifics of eating kosher, but I do know that it would make eating Mexican food a little bit difficult. So you see a lot of restaurants that have vegan options, vegetarian options, which is awesome, but at the same time you don't see tacos on the menu, and you don't see chips and salsa, which has been really, really sad for us. But I will say that we were able to find a guy who has just a little Facebook page, and he's from DF, from Mexico City, and he actually makes really, really authentic Mexican corn tortillas and al pastor tacos, and he'll make homemade salsa. And so we found him through another group that I had joined for English-speaking people here in Haifa, and everyone was recommending him if you want good Mexican. So we've ordered from him now now twice, and it has been like a godsend to be able to order from him and go pick it up, and he just makes everything for you, and all you have to do is just, go home and cook it at home, just finish it up, basically prepare the al pastor meat, and then everything else is ready to go. So I have absolutely loved being able to order from that guy, because otherwise we would be in a complete Mexican food desert, which would be a tragedy in and of itself. So yeah, I definitely, still miss being able to, go have a margarita somewhere, or to order any kind of taco that I want. But at least we've been able to find that little lifeline to get us through while we're visiting here. So the last question is from Deanna, and she says, do you feel safe? Which is, interestingly enough, a question that we got all the time in Mexico too. So the short answer is yes. I have not once felt unsafe. I have not once felt like my life was in danger or in jeopardy. So it's very safe here, and people are very cautious and concerned with security here, perhaps more so than they are in the States, and with good reason, but that also makes you feel more secure to be here, and know that people have already thought of things that could go wrong and have already prepared for that. So I think for an American living over here, I feel very safe, and it's interesting to see that there are still tragedies and gun violence and things like that happening in the States all the time. And we had the Fort Lauderdale tragedy that happened just a short while ago, and I think 5 people, innocent people, were killed. And then we had in Jerusalem just a couple days ago, there was a suspected terrorist that drove a bus or a truck, I guess, and killed 4, I believe, Israeli soldiers. So even though there's this perception that it's not safe over here in Israel, there's still, bad things happen everywhere, and that's just the unfortunate reality. And I think it's the same that we would tell people in Mexico, as long as you're smart, as long as you're, staying away from the bad parts of town, 99.9% of the time you're going to feel just as safe as you do in the States. And because in reality, if you're here and you're living amongst people every day, you realize that there's far more similarities than there are differences. And there's children out here walking home from school, and there's kids who are outside playing after school, and there's families just like there are in the States, and it's not nearly as scary as you might think, and it's definitely, at least for our experience thus far, very safe. And I think that's kind of our general feeling about Israel, is that it's been wonderful thus far. And if anybody wants to come visit, you're more than welcome to. So that's all we have for today. If you have any other questions about Israel or about our time over here, feel free to let us know in the comments. And we love you all, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye!